38 cases from January to February. That's just the statistic for 2025 January to February. But prior to now, there had been fire outbreaks, whether it's at residence, institutions, even the cotton tree at some point was on fire. So let's start with the backdated cases. NDMA, your disaster management. All we've heard from Fire Force or the police is these cases are being investigated. But as the disaster management institution in the country, have you followed up? What is the investigation showing? What has been the causes of these fire outbreaks in the country?
Thank you very, very much. I think it's a very, very important question to determine the causes of these fire incidents. That is where NDMA comes in. Most times when fire incidents do occur, of course, Fire Force is called upon, they will respond to put out the fire, but NDMA will always be there to conduct an assessment to determine, one, the cause of fire, then two, the number of people affected, and three, what kind of immediate relief items will be able to actually supply to the affected population to cushion the impact of the fire incident on them. So I will tell you categorically that yes, indeed, the NDMA has been determining the causes of these fire incidents. In most cases, we've recorded, for example, in certain parts of the country, especially in the southern province, where bushfires, for example, led to the burning of several houses because it was uncontrolled. Because the people that were conducting, burning those bushes, doesn't know, for example, how to do farm belt, how to ensure that you demarcate, so that the fire will not be able to jump and possibly come into the town. And we have also gotten fire incidents that are attributed to electricity malfunctioning, which account for more than 70% of the fire incidents, for example, in 2024, as a result of malfunctioning of electrical, either it is as a result of the fact that people are abstracting electricity illegally, or the wiring in their houses, it's not done properly. They use substandard equipment to actually do the wiring, the overloading of certain extensions, for example, using high voltage appliances on very small circuit breakers, for example. Most times the people are not at home, and it will, most times it leads to fire outbreaks. So for cooking fire incident, we only recorded one in Waterloo for this year. A fire incident that led, as a result of people cooking inside their houses. So we only recorded one, which means the conscientization, the sensitization that we've been doing in regards to fire prevention campaigns, especially in that regard, has been yielding some dividend, because we have not been able to record more fires as a result of cooking in-house cooking. But also candle, zero for this year. Fortunately for us, with all the fire incidents, we have not been able to record a single death case as a result of fire incident. That is very, very encouraging for us. Even though fire, for example, through our calendar, our hazard calendar, it runs right through the year. So that is why we don't have any break. There's no dull moment throughout the year regarding fire, the management of fire or the recording of fire incidents. So that is why it is right through the year that we continue to engage the public, engage communities, explain to them the dangers, what they should do and what they should not do to avoid the occurrence of fire incidents. So
let's zoom in on the causes, those that relate to EDSA. You spoke about wiring connections and those, stealing electricity. But what contribution does the frequent on-ing and offing of the electricity supply and the fluctuation in the voltage from EDSA contribute to fire disasters?
I must. Well, it is a bit difficult for me to actually, apportion a percentage on that now, because an assessment has not been done in that regard.
Why?
I'm coming. We look at the cause. We look at the cause. Mostly it as a result of electricity malfunctioning.
I ask you why, because when you talk to some of the people, especially some of those who have been unfortunate enough to experience a fire outbreak, the explanation is it is EDSA and the fluctuation in the voltage they're sending. Some would tell you it's not even just the fluctuation, that frequent on and off. But from what you're saying, it puts the blame on the people.
No.
Hold on, it puts the blame on the people, poor wiring, stealing electricity. So that's why, again, I'm asking, what about the fluctuation? You said there's not been a report on that, but why?
No, listen.
Why hasn't there been a study on that?
Let me just clarify.
Please do.
To a very large extent, EDSA will have some amount of blame. You understand? In anything electricity relating to fire incident.
But that didn't come out clearly in your submission.
No, I'm coming. You asked about the factors, the causes. I told you clearly that it's one, bushfires, two, electricity malfunctioning. That malfunctioning could be either from the side of EDSA or probably the end users, the type of appliances that they use. So it all relates. So it's all related. So on the side of EDSA, for example, yes, even NDMA, we have gotten such reports from people that as a result of high voltage, the on-in and off-in of the electricity as and when, you understand. And most times it destroys, even if there is no fire incident, it destroys their appliances to some extent. We have gotten that report. And that is why last year we wrote to EDSA. We wanted to collaborate with EDSA to see how we can intensify and engage certain communities relating to what they should do to avoid these circumstances. You understand? So it is not that we are oblivious of the fact that EDSA does not have any blame in this. You understand? And I believe to a very large extent, even EDSA, they themselves, to a very large extent, will want to, will not want to disagree that, yes, indeed, they don't have certain amount of blame to some extent. You understand? But however, I will put it to you now that based on our assessments on most of those fire incidents, the causes of fire, I will tell you, largely could be attributed to the end users. Largely because one, go to the slum communities, for example. You see naked wires being wrapped with plastics. You understand? You will see people, just recklessly handling electrical appliances.
But again,
it is very, very visible.
Again,
so that is not to say EDSA does not have a problem. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.